Good evening. This is Lillian Barnes, the Grants Online Trainer, and we are getting ready to do the last webinar in our new FPO training series. This particular webinar is going to cover some auxiliary information that we sometimes get to in our in-person training class. We mostly do. Sometimes we don't if we don't have enough time, but most of the time we do have time to get to these last three features. These are features that would be used during the post-award process. This is after you've already made awards and maybe you need to do some tracking of your reports. We're going to talk about our award tracking report that's in Grants Online. We're also going to talk about the supplementary information feature that allows you to put custom tags onto your awards. And then one other feature called the Correspondence and Federal Reports feature. So let's get started. I am going to log in as a Federal Program Officer since that is the class that we're doing the webinar for, and I'm going to use our G Student account that we use. And I'm going to go ahead and log in here. And okay. All right, we are on our advisory page, and we're going to first start off with the feature that is called Award Tracking Report. In order to find that particular report, that is one of the few tracking reports that we have at Grants Online. We don't have a very robust reporting system in Grants Online, but this is one of the reports that does provide you information that might be useful as you are monitoring your awards. So I'm going to go to the Reports tab here, and these are actual lists of information as opposed to the reports. Let me just remind you, there is another something called Search Reports under the Awards tab. These reports are specific to progress reports and financial reports. So these are reports that are turned in by the recipient. This tab here, Reports, are reports internal to the federal staff. This tab is not available to our recipients. And this tab allows you to run a few reports, as you see here, a couple of planning reports, the award tracking report, and unexpended balances report. So for right now, I'm just going to focus in on the award tracking report, since that is one that is occasionally used by our federal program officers and our grants management staff to monitor your reports. I'm going to click on award tracking report, and here you will see several parameters that you can enter in order to narrow down the results that you're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and put in 2020 as the fiscal year that we want to look at for these particular awards. I'm going to select NOAA as the bureau, and then underneath NOAA, we're going to select our Grants Online Training line office that we have created. And you can narrow it down even more if you would like. I'm not going to narrow it down anymore. I'm just going to say I would like to see funded awards, only funded awards, and let's say I want only the ones that have already been signed by a grants officer. So I'm going to click this button here. Again, you can use any of these data fields here, but let's go with this particular scenario here. And then I'm going to click the Run Reports button. I've now just downloaded a report. Notice the extension is .do, which is not a normal extension you're used to. If you click on it, it should open up using Excel. However, if it doesn't, you can go directly to Excel and then open the report. When you first open the report in Excel, it's going to recognize that it's not seeing a normal Excel extension. So go ahead and click the Yes button when this particular message comes up. that the format doesn't match. It doesn't matter. It can still open up in Excel. So now we have our report, and the top is some header information. This is the parameters that we just put in on the report screen. And now we have the data. And you have several data fields in this report that will help you as you are trying to monitor your award. So we have the award number, the amendment number, and I'm just going through. Here's your status of that particular action, the types of action, some identifying information as to the program office that these awards belong to, identifies the FPO and the grant specialist, a lot of different dates that are important during the workflow in completing this particular application package. It tells us which grants officer signed the award, gives us some benchmark dates as it was going through the process of the award package, some recipient information. Of course, it gives us the information on the funds that were associated with the award, and up to a couple of columns at the end that let us know whether it's construction. And the Recovery Act, this is sort of a legacy column in here from when we were doing Recovery Act awards. You'll probably not see any that say that anymore, but there are still quite a few useful columns in this particular report that will help you if you're monitoring your awards. So that is the award tracking system. As you scroll down, and you'll see different statuses. If you see something like this that says unknown status, that means that there may be a data issue in that particular award. So contact our help desk so that we can take a look at it and see if we can determine why it comes up as unknown status. Let's look through here a couple of others. You can see here the recipient has not yet accepted this one, so it says acceptance pending. There's one right here that's been obligated, but it has not completed the ASAP workflow. So you can see where the awards are pretty easily in the workflow as you're going through this list. So this is the award tracking report. Pretty much that's it to it. You can then just manipulate it. You can save as an Excel spreadsheet and then manipulate it like you normally would with your Excel functions. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip back over to Grants Online. And we're going to explore our next feature that is in this webinar, which is the Supplementary Information feature. The Supplementary Information feature allows you to tag your awards, give it some custom tags to help you better identify your awards with information that you have not yet put in to Grants Online. So let's go to our Awards tab and let's search for some of our awards. Search awards. We're going to go ahead and search for some of the awards that we have used. Again, I'll look at some NA20 awards, and let's do a search. These, of course, are awards that have already been made, so we're in the post-award. That means these awards have either been accepted, as you see all of these say accepted, and then you have some pending accepted. So they will be in one of these two states at this point. I'm going to select an award at random. It's going to take the top one in the list. Now let's scroll down on this particular award. This particular award doesn't have much activity on it. This is what it looks like when you first execute the award and it's first accepted by the recipient. So we see that it's accepted, but it hasn't been around long enough to have any progress reports or financial reports on it. However, you do still see these links here for correspondence and federal reports and for supplementary information. Let's go ahead and click on the supplementary information link. And at this point, if we want to add a custom tag to this particular award, we would click on Add New. Once you do that, there are some tags that have already been set up in the system, and you can select any one of them to add to your particular award as an identifying tag on your award. I'm going to select the bottom one, test category, and I'm going to click add. This particular tag was set up with some sub values. So not only can you select a main value, but you can also give it a subcategory. I'll go ahead and select this one. And now I'm going to say done, and I'm going to add this line to the main page of my award. Okay, so now I'm on my grants file again. As I scroll down, I will now see this tag that I just added to my award. This tag is useful in that if I was searching for my award, again, if I go back to search awards, say I didn't know the actual award number, but I have several awards that I have tagged the same way, and I want to get all of those awards with one search. I can now use this supplementary information category feature on my search awards page, and I could put in the value, or I don't have to. If I click search now, it will find all of the awards with that particular tag. Okay, and also shows you your sub value if you have one there. So any award that I tag with test category 1 will show up in my search. Let me do one more award so you can see that it picks up all of them. I'm going to go back to search awards, which I have, but I'm going to take this tag off. I'm going to search for the NA20 awards again. And let's pick another one to add the same tag to it. So I'm just going to pick the next one in mine. I'm going to scroll down. This one is the older one. It has the financial progress reports on it, but here is our supplementary information link. Add new again. And I'll pick up the same one, add it. This time I'll select the other value, this one right here, and done. And one more done. It takes me to the main page because I don't want to add any others. And now if I go back to search awards, you see it, this one's on the main page. It has value 2. Let's go back to search awards. We're going to search by that same, I'm going to reset it here. Search by that same supplementary information category, and both of those awards should now come up. And they do. So anything that has been tagged in this way, I could search for all of those awards by tagging them, and then I could do a search and get all awards that have been tagged the same way. If I have a role on my account of primary office contact, I can actually add tags into the system to be used. This particular account does have that role. If you don't have that role but you want to add tags, you can contact our help desk for assistance. But let me just show you how a tag can be added. I'm going to go to this feature right here. Here is a guidance document. If I click on this, it opens up a guidance document that we have, and it walks you through the whole process of adding in the supplementary values, even searching by it. Let me go back here. I'm going to add in a new category. We're going to call this test category 2. Okay, I'm going to make this I'm going to say there's no lookup types, which means there's not going to be any additional values. This one's not going to have any sub-values. Okay, and this is a program office level categories. We can have them at a bureau level, a line office level, or a program office level. The particular user that I'm logged in as can only create them at the program office level, but the help desk can create them at any level. A description is not required. As you see, these are required, but the description is not a required field. Save and return to main. Okay, so now there are 2 supplementary information categories that my program office has added. I'm going to now go back to search awards. I'm going to search by this test category 1 that we did before. I'm going to pick up one of my 2 awards, and I'm going to add that second category. So as you see, you're not limited to tagging it with just one. I'm going to click on supplementary information. I'm going to click add new, and I'm going to add a second tag. So now I'm going to add this one, and done. Notice it did not give me any sub-values because I set it up that it does not have any sub-values. So there we go. Test category 1, test category 2. So if there are no sub-values, it'll just say true, that you just have one value. Okay? That's our supplementary information section. Again, if you need more information about that, there is a guidance document that you can find from the training website. Now, our last feature that we want to demonstrate for you today is this section called Correspondence and Federal Reports. You can think of this particular section on your grants file as a catch-all or miscellaneous section for any documentation that is an official document that needs to be added to the grants file, but there's no other place that makes sense to put it. So let's go ahead and click on Correspondence and Federal Reports. This particular section will not be seen by your recipient users, so you can have confidence that anything that you upload here is only going to be an internal document. Let's add our first entry here. And as you see, you have several types. You can label these with any of these types here, and anything that is just miscellaneous, you could just call it memo for the record. Let's say we have an email that we want to upload as an official document to our grants file. So you select the type email. I'll go ahead and put today's date in, which is 4/23/2020. Oops. 23/2020. It does not have to have an end date. You do need to have one date on your record, but you don't have to have two. Okay? We're going to say this is test email for the record. The title is required. It has an asterisk. The comments are not. So I'll just go ahead and put comment 1. Okay? Now, I want to upload an attachment, but I don't have a link yet. I have to first click the Save button. Once I click Save, I will get my attachments link. So now I can upload an attachment. So let me just pick my test attachments. Okay. So here's our test attachment. All right. And we're going to go ahead and save that attachment. And let's scroll down on the page. And we have an attachment. You could upload as many attachments as you need to correspond with this record. Once you're done, you have a Save button. And you also have a Lock button. So this Lock button will allow you to, once you save this record with the lock on it, no changes can be made to this record. And if you want this record open to maybe add more comments later, then don't click the lock button. If you never want to make any changes to it, then you can click the lock button. But I'm just going to click Save for right now. All right. And we're going to go ahead. Let's see. Make sure there's no. Yep, it's there. Let's go ahead and cancel. And we should now see this record here. Here it is right here. If I cancel off of this screen, it takes me back to my grants file. And here is my first record under Correspondence and Federal Reports. Let's add one more. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to add one more record. In fact, since I didn't lock this one, let's just open this one more time. Now I'm going to add in another comment. Okay. Only the person that created the record can lock it. The record can be created by the Federal Program Officer or by someone in the Grants Management Division. Both sides have access to create records for any particular grant file. I'm going to now lock. Notice it says it's going to lock it. Help desk assistance would be needed if you needed to unlock the document. So I'm going to lock it. Okay. So now I don't even have a save button. I can cancel off. I can't make any changes. And cancel. Go back to our grants file. All right. Now if I clicked on it again, it says the document is locked. I can't make any changes. Okay. Now let's go back and add one more record here, just so you can kind of see it built up. Correspondence to Federal Reports. Add new. And let's this time say this is a memo for the record. Okay. Again. 04/23/2020. This is a test record for correspondence and federal reports. This time I'm not going to put anything in the comment section. It's not needed. I'm going to click Save and Cancel. All right. So now we have a couple of records that are on this particular grants file. If you actually had a long list, you can actually run a report here and get a PDF file that shows you the information in all of the records that you have underneath correspondence and federal reports. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and cancel off of here. You should also see both of these records on the main grants file. And that is it for this particular webinar. Those are the features we wanted to show you. We hope that you have found this useful, something that you can take back to your office and use as you are monitoring your grant awards.